So it went from not being able to manage my state at all to then every now and then. And now I'm way better at it. But now I want to be like, I want to manage it every single day. Like I want to live with love every single day. And I really want to enjoy my life. Up until this point, I've been working, and I haven't really stopped to smell the roses. And now it's time to stop and smell the roses.
Hello and welcome to the Business of Happiness podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Tarryn MacCarthy. Welcome today. I am so excited. Today is going to be a fabulous day because I'm introducing to you a really phenomenal human that I'm so excited to get to know better. She, believe it or not, is the first female endodontist in Charlotte, North Carolina, board certified. She's a TEDx speaker and Forbes contributor and an amazing supporter of our endodontic skills in this world. She's actually founded something called eSchool. It's Everyday Endo Made Easy, and she supports endodontists, dentists, general dentists, anybody who wants to uplevel their technical skills in endodontics, patient experience, and here's another really important aspect, overall business models involving endodontics. And through her thoughtful design, she created this online course called eSchool. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Sonia Chopra.
Thank you so much, Tarryn. It's such a pleasure and honor to be here. I'm excited for this chat today.
I'm so excited because what's really cool, something I left out of the intro, is how we met.
Yes.
How we were introduced to each other, because we did not meet in the dental world.
Nope.
We met through a really cool, actually a phenomenal gentleman who was on the show previously, Srikumar, who has introduced us outside of this world. And you met Srikumar at a speaking event, at a Mind Valley event in Croatia.
Yeah, back in 2019, I met him in Croatia. And then I saw him again when I was in Estonia this past summer. And that's really where I went up to him and, met him. And then he was a speaker at one of my events at the inaugural Women in Endo event. And that's where we got really, connected. And then he introduced me to you.
That is really cool that you had him speak. So for those of you who haven't seen the interview with Srikumar, he is a thought leader in his own right. He is a phenomenal, deep soul, introspective, spiritual person who teaches us from a business world. He started focusing on how to introduce spirituality and thought and mindset understanding in the business world. But so cool that you helped bring his knowledge to the endodontic world. So what did he speak on at that event?
So, he talks about, just bringing happiness and just having this extra awareness of things, like he calls, like one of his stories about the second arrow really hits home to me. And the mental chatter that we have. And, the reason why I picked him first to bring into this type of retreat is because of how he impacted me. Like I had this logical mind, this endodontic mind, like 1 millimeter mind, right? And it's hard for me to grasp some of the deep spiritual teachings. It's really hard for me, but he made sense to me. He made sense to my logical mind, right? And I remember sitting there in the audience being like, wow, this is really profound. And I know that there's many people in my own industry that could really benefit if I'm feeling this way. And, there were many, many other teachers, but I felt like he needed to be the first. It was very special that he was the first person to come into this space. It just makes sense. It makes sense now to me. And it was like the door had opened for that, not just like spiritual journey, but that personal growth development.
It's such a gift, Sonia. So I just have to thank you for doing that, for bringing that, introducing that mindset and that introspection into the dental world, because you're right. We don't learn how to take care of ourselves. We learn to be experts in millimeters and in the intricacies of perfection and healing. Yes. But we forget, or we don't realize how important it is to heal ourselves along the way and to take care of ourselves. How did that journey of realizing the importance of that look in your world?
Oh my gosh. I'm still on this healing journey. I hit rock bottom in my practice in 2016.
Hmm.
And it was just, I was a startup practice, and along the way, I had 3 kids by the time 2015 was around. And so I completely forgot about myself. I was
Hmm.
always tending to others, whether it was my patients, my team, my kids, my husband. Like, I literally say, like, the 30s, completely forgot who I was. My 20s was a blast, right? Like, and I had no responsibilities and it was so much fun. And I thought I knew myself. And then my 30s, I completely forgot about myself. And now I'm in my 40s and I feel like I've been resurrected, right?
Hmm.
But this was the beginning of my path. And again, just being able to have that door first open was huge. But it's really interesting how many times I have to hear a lesson before it actually lands.
Thank you.
I'm
I
like,
know it's not fair. We
it's,
keep getting the lesson until we learn, right?
yes.
I know. I'm right there with you. So it's happened several times where you've realized, oh, wait a minute, I need to recalibrate and take care of myself
Oh,
again.
yeah, because I'm human and I go
Mm.
back into my triggers, and
Mm.
then I catch myself. And at first I wasn't good at catching myself. Now I'm really good at catching
Mm.
myself. That's like the exercise that I've gotten good at. Now I'm like, okay, now once I'm triggered, I really have to focus on creating that space between the trigger and the reaction. And that's probably my current lesson. It's been a long lesson, but I'm doing a lot for that. And I think that's I'm realizing that time is a big factor for me. This is
Mm.
my own personal journey, like time, and not and the what I think is the lack of, which is not true. I have it. I just organize my time really poorly. But now that I'm organizing my time better, I'm realizing that how important that is to me so that I can manage my state consistently on a daily basis instead of every now and then. So it went from not being able to manage my state at all to then every now and then. And now I'm way better at it. But now I want to be like, I want to manage it every single day. Like,
Mm.
I want to live with love every single day.
Mm.
And I really want to enjoy my life. Up until this point, I've been working, and I haven't really stopped to smell the roses. And now it's time to stop and smell the roses.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And it's really interesting. I think that journey that you just described is one that so many of us have lived in terms of working really hard, kind of putting your
Yeah.
nose to the grindstone, making things happen,
Yes.
getting a certain amount of success from it, feeling really good about it, making impact in the world, and then hitting a wall.
Yeah.
And then we start out small by saying, okay, I need to give myself permission to take time for me. But you're right, it's not on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
It's more like vacations or
Yeah.
allowing myself time off.
Right. And then look at how much work there is to get to the vacation. And then look at how much work there is when you get back from the vacation.
Right.
Oh, it's like, what?
And if you're anything like me, I remember getting to the vacation. Here's some serious uh, vulnerability here, sharing how many vacations I canceled early and came
Oh.
back from early.
Oh, that I don't do. I'm just
Seriously.
yeah. I mean,
Because we
yeah.
don't even know how to slow down on those holidays.
Right. And,
Yeah.
maybe I didn't cancel, but I definitely my mind wasn't on vacation, right?
Yeah.
Because I got a text from a team
Mhm.
member, right? Or somebody quit while I was gone. I'm like, oh my God, this has got to end,
Mm.
And those were like, I realized, I'm like, okay, I need to have a boundary here. Like, I don't even want to know that until I get back.
Yeah.
I really don't. So if somebody quits, great. Like,
Yeah.
let them quit. Don't tell me until I come back Monday. Like, don't
Yeah.
even tell me Sunday night. I want to know Monday, and I'll deal with it because I have to deal with it regardless. I just don't want to know while I'm on vacation.
And it's so funny you bring up boundaries because we think they're for other people, but they really
Yeah.
are for ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Totally.
So, walking down that line of development and growth and development and deeper understanding of yourself, and now you just said you're at the place where you want to find that presence every day.
Every single day.
What does that practice look like to you right now?
So I've been having a lot of fun in my mornings right now. Like I've never taken this much time to like get to my desk. Like granted, the days I'm still at the office, I don't do that, and it's fine. And it's like, again, that's okay. That is that day. My priority is my team in my office and my patients, and that's okay. And I do that a day and a half a week now. But the other times, I'm like, okay, I need to be here for my kids. I need to be here for my husband. I have hubby days. I have kids mornings days. And then I have like me mornings. And I've actually like graphed that out on my weekly calendar. And I love it. And instead of rushing to my desk to be able to start working at 7 a.m., because that is my most productive time, I I cherish that time for myself first. I do a little learning, I do my movement, I do my a little breathing, and I do my meditation, and it centers me, and I can still get the same amount done, right? I just like now I'm like, okay, I'm really going to do 9 to 3 working instead of 7 to 5:36, but I'm going to cut that off. I wasn't good at cutting off stuff. Like I would just trickle into dinner and my kids are already home. It's like, well, no one's going to die. Everyone's going to be fine if I don't write this blog today. Like I'll do it tomorrow.
And I love the realization that you get as
Yeah.
much done. We have
Yeah.
this fear of taking time for ourselves, that we think
Yeah.
we have to maintain a certain level of efficiency, that we don't realize we're so inefficient by
Yes.
doing that, by just
Yeah.
working constantly. When was that realization for you?
It was this New Year's, like just December was a big nesting time for me this year. It usually is. I have a major purge at the end of the year. I get all the clothes that don't fit me, all the clothes that don't fit my kids anymore, the toys that they've grown out of, and I collect them, and I always donate in December. But this year was like different. I went through every closet. I went through every cabinet. And I was like, okay, I'm not even going to stress myself out about this, but I'm going to just take on a closet a day. Like I don't want to have to do it all in one day. And I took the pressure off, but I really want to see, because what I find out was that when I'm super busy, like my house gets a mess. Things just don't go back in their home. And like everything was everywhere. I'm like, is this really how we're living right now? And it was that chaos that I was seeing outside was the chaos that was like in my brain.
Reflected from within.
Yeah. And I'm like, I can't even slow down to enjoy, to really like taste my coffee, to really, like really savor, if I had that donut, to savor that donut, like I was just, it was like, I got to eat it just to move on to the next thing. And I'm like, this is not why I'm doing all this stuff. And I really want to slow down. So my word of the year is enjoy. And I put a lot of things on pause. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to do this right now. I want to like get back to this serenity in my life. And then when the project is ready, when the universe says, ding, 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 that project is ready for you now, it's created from a place of joy and and love instead of stress. And I have to do this. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Hey guys, I'm interrupting your podcast episode to let you know about an incredible new program that I am launching in January of 2023. It is specifically for practitioners in medicine and dentistry to help you rediscover happiness and inner fulfillment within your profession and your life. I remember what it was like for me when years ago I was so depressed and anxious and feeling like I had created and built a treadmill I just couldn't get off of, pushing through every day and wishing my life away. This program is the how of how to find happiness in your practice and in your life, because we know that when we feel good, that's when we can do good. Check out thebizofhappiness.com/radical happiness, or click the link in the show notes. I cannot wait to see you there. I love that. And the beautiful thing about that is practicing that word enjoy in your safe space, in your home, in your private life, allows you to bring that practice into the office as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like and And I just want to make like it's helping me so much with managing my state because I'm human. I'm still going to get frustrated. I'm still going to see those triggers. But again, my reaction to those triggers can be very different, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. Even like you want me to show you my vision board?
I'd love to see your vision board.
Okay, my vision board used to be this big, but now it's like gigantic.
I love that.
And I had all these like little gaps where you could still see the cork. And I was like, oh, I need to infuse joy and love
in all the little gaps.
Yes. So that's what I did. So here's my vision board. It's humongous. It's like huge, giant.
I love it.
Giant. And then you can see I put like love, joy, reminders everywhere. It's just completely infused.
I love that. I love that. Beautiful. Yeah. You know, it's interesting because we think that taking that time, the misconception is well, first we think it's lazy and we think we add all kinds of judgment to it. And then we think it's selfish and we add all kinds of judgment to it.
Right.
And then when you actually give yourself the freedom and permission to do so, you start to see that infusion in your presence with your patients and your appreciation of the incredible work that you do in this world. You know, we start to resent it when we're just pushing through. But getting back to ourselves allows us to get back to our incredible work too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I get so excited when I think about your e-school too, because I know that was born from a place of passion and love and excitement.
And complete flow. Like I look back at it and I'm like, how did I write that? And then I go back and I read it. I'm like, well, maybe it needs to be edited. And I'm like, and I agree with every word that I said. It's just crazy. But it was like, I think I was in so much flow in that moment that I can't even remember creating it. It's the craziest thing.
And it came from an energetic space of love and joy and enjoyment, which is why.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that idea. You know, when we were chatting before this interview was recorded, Sonia and I were chatting about something that we wanted to bring and discuss about. And something we talked about was this energy of a masculine energy, perceived masculine energy, perceived feminine energy. And maybe we can define that a little bit as we're talking here. But tell me your perception. How do you perceive masculine energy and feminine energy?
So masculine is the do, right? Which I feel like we are always in that do mode. And it doesn't matter if you're man or woman, right? We all have masculine and feminine energies in us. And I feel like everywhere in dentistry, we're always living in that masculine, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's the doing, that's the giving, right? But the feminine is the receiving. It's the creative. It's the other side that balances all that doing. We always forget to live over here. This is when you're like in flow. And that's why I know, like, that's why I love eSchool, because I literally birthed it. It came through me. And that's why, like, you know, like I can't even remember like giving birth. It's the same thing, you know, like I literally was birthed through me. And I think that's why I love the program so much. But it's also brought an incredible awareness to me about how I show up every day. And it's so much in the masculine. And yes, I'm great at getting stuff done. I'm great at like being the driver, right? But I think what I'm capable of is even more beautiful and more powerful when I let the feminine shine through and being able to balance that. That is, I'm working with a feminine energy coach right now. And the things that I'm learning is incredible. And it's softening me. It's allowing me to just be and to really accept the flow in which I'm supposed to be doing things. And I think it's important for everyone to like recognize this, just at least have a baseline awareness, especially for women, because you know, being married is not easy, right? And so when we're always in our masculine at the office, we're a boss babe, whatever, like that's great. But now I'm starting to take that as an insult, right? Because I'm like, I don't want to be that boss babe. Like I want to be somebody who shares both sides, because when I come home and I'm in that masculine energy, like what does it do? it repels your husband, you know, and you don't want that. And so again, I think it's really important to balance the two. I think they're both equally important. But what I realized is so much of my time I have just neglected my energetic feminine side, and it's really time to embrace that. And I think dentistry as a whole needs that embrace.
Oh, and what a superpower that would be
Yeah.
and gift to our teams and our
Yeah.
patients as well. Definitely our spouses and our families.
Yeah.
But when we allow ourselves to see and embrace that feminine part of it, that's that nurturing.
Right.
That's if we dig back to it, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, Sonia, but that's that part of me that fell in love with dentists to take care of people.
Right. And now I see it as an educator, right? That's what's coming through me as I'm coaching these dentists on how to do endo better. They're so fearful of making a mistake, right? They're so scared because the way they were taught was just such a harsh energy. They need something that they can trust, that makes them feel good even when they make a mistake. It's like, it's okay. Like, let's learn from this. This is how we fix it to move on. No one's being scolded. And, I've been in a lot of Facebook groups for clinical stuff, and I've actually had to exit so many because I'm like, wow, this is not a good environment to learn in. And more people are learning their dentistry in these groups. And it's hateful. It's harsh, and it's not an empowering way to teach somebody. And that's really where I feel like my new places in the world.
Really cool. Really cool. I want to reflect for a moment because you have a really fascinating personal story on how you came into falling in love with dentistry and having that goal of becoming a dentist. And I'd love for you to share a little snippet about it. But the focus that I'm thinking of right now is what you fell in love with was being nurtured when you were nurtured as a patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that feminine part
yeah.
of that practitioner who spoke to you.
Yeah, he empowered me for sure, because I was so lost in that moment, being tossed around from provider to provider. Like, nobody could diagnose me. So first of all, I was born without 8 teeth. So I needed to keep all my teeth. And then I get this massive toothache. Nobody, whether it's a dentist or a medical doctor, could diagnose me. I jumped from provider to provider. I had so much pain during this whole time. It was like a 9-month process. And finally, I went to one endodontist, and he was like, I can't treat her. And he threw his instruments down. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm in so much pain. I felt bad for not feeling good. And then I met another endodontist, and he was the coolest guy on the planet. He had this long ponytail, and he walked me through every single step. He made me understand what was happening to my body, and he made me feel not crazy. And he really took his time to care for me. And that is, from that moment on, is what I emulated. And I was like, because I was 17 at the time, I was like, that's what I want to be when I grow up. He made such an impact. He probably doesn't even know. I probably should write him a card. He made such an impact on me and how he handled me. And I was like, this is the essence of what I want to be, how I want to be in service when I get to that stage of my life. And I feel like that's what I'm doing. I never forget that story. And I always tell it, and I love to share it. I love to share it with my patients, because they don't feel alone anymore. They're going to somebody who's also had that kind of experience, and they feel a little bit more at ease, and they feel heard. And it's just that whole thing. I see my patients living that same tooth story. And that really was the essence and the reasoning behind why I wanted to create this program, because it's very obvious that this type of education is really needed.
Yeah, really cool. Oh, thank you. Thank you for all that you do,
Oh,
Sonia. I'm
thanks.
so grateful to know you, and I'm so excited for the impact that you're having in our world, in the dental world. And also I want to thank you for the introspection and taking care of yourself, because as you do, you're birthing these beautiful things.
Yeah,
And by really allowing yourself to listen to yourself and to your body and taking
yeah,
time for yourself, you're better able to serve more people.
right. And forgiving myself for the
Ooh.
mistakes.
Mm.
Like forgiveness for me is huge, and it just makes me more aware, and I can fix things faster now, but I've really had to forgive myself for some of my mistakes that I've made.
Mm.
And but without those mistakes, I wouldn't be able to grow. So I have so much gratitude for them. I wouldn't change my path for anything. I'm so happy that I've lived the way I've lived, and hopefully I'll be able to help people just from having my own experiences.
No, beautiful. You already are. Thank you. You already are.
Right.
So we're going to be leaving contact information for how to get in touch with you and how to learn about eSchool, which I
Oh,
love the name of your
yeah.
eSchool,
Thank you.
in the show notes. But for anybody who's driving right now and listening, how can they find you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm most on Instagram. So you can find me at Sonia Chopra DDS. That's Sonia with an I. And also I have a website at soniachopradds.com.
Fabulous. And before you leave us today, Sonia, I'd love to know from you, what is your definition of happiness?
Happiness to me is, just being,
Mm,
and also like being authentic and being okay with who I am, and understanding just how much love I have to share with this world.
beautiful. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. It's
Thank
been
you.
awesome. Thank you so
So
much.
cool. So cool to know you. And thank you to all of you for joining us here today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know that you got some great insight and maybe felt seen yourself in some of Sonia's stories. And remember, my friends, when you feel good, that's when you can do good. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.